This is Gamble Quest, where we discuss all things gambling, poker, blackjack, roulette, dice. It doesn't matter. If you're gambling on it, we discussing it. Let's go on this journey together as we educate ourselves on the gambling world. What's up, everybody? This is Emmanuel at Gamble Quest, and today we'll be discussing blackjack and a little bit of poker, along with some other gambling games. Today we're interviewing Norris Schla. He's a group coordinator and consultant, and we're about to get into some good conversation about gambling. First thing I'm gonna say is thank you for coming. Thank you for taking time out your day.
Appreciate you having me.
And interviewing with me, bro. I really do appreciate it. Let's hop right into it.
All right.
So, Schla, what was your earliest memories of gambling? How did you get introduced to gambling?
Good question. E. I got introduced to gambling when I was in the 7th grade, believe it or not. I was going to 16th Street Middle School, and I would come out there to the basketball courts, and I would see these guys out there throwing dice hitting the wall. And I was saying to myself, whoa, what are they doing? I seen money going everywhere. I seen cards over there. And so I said to myself, let me go out here and see what's going on. And so I actually got out there, started looking at what was going on, learned how to roll dice, learned how to play Tonk actually in the 7th grade. And so I would go home and then I would get money from my mom and dad, you know, $3, $4. And, you know, back then I was in 7th grade. That was a lot of money.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I'm going to school now. And first thing they drop me off, I'm going to the basketball courts and I'm flipping them $4 into $12, into $20, you know? And so that's when I got introduced to gambling when I was in the 7th grade at John Hopkins Middle School.
So these kids were gambling at school?
Man, these kids was gambling at school. Shout out to Dale Swisher and Herman Patton Juba. These kids were gambling at 7th grade.
Wow.
And that's where it kind of groomed me at about the whole gambling ordeal. It was right there at John Hopkins, 7th grade.
So growing up as a kid, were you always into like strategy games or card games?
Growing up as a kid, I was a competitor, man. You know what I mean? I don't gotta tell you that. You know, me and you, we played on the same basketball team. I was always a competitor and I just wanted to be better than everybody else. You know what I mean? So a lot of people look at gambling as, oh, you know, you're throwing your money away, oh, you're doing this, oh, you're doing that. But really, it's kind of coming to today's society as a sport.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And so in sports, what do? You compete.
Absolutely. And
so that's what you're doing a lot of times when you're gambling. You're competing, letting the other person know, hey, listen, I'm better than you at this. But it's an extra incentive. I'm also getting money with it as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's how I kind of look at it when I look at it as far as gambling. Hey, listen, yeah, it's a competitive sport, but also I'm also getting a few extra dollars.
Absolutely.
From this whole thing.
Absolutely. It's definitely you get gratification right away.
Yeah.
When you gamble, you win.
Yeah.
What's your game of choice right now? Like when you go to the casino, what is your game of choice that you play right now?
When I go to the casino, my game of choice probably it's going to be a two-way tie between roulette and blackjack. Now, and I tell you this, blackjack, really the odds are not in our favor, percentage-wise. And you learn this more the more you gamble because you want to know what's in your favor, what's in your favor and what's not in your favor. So I say roulette because you can kind of strategize when it comes to roulette as far as blackjack. Blackjack, you really on a wing and a prayer because you have people coming in and coming out. Some people know how to play. Some people don't know how to play. And so when they coming in, they can actually screw you because they can make the wrong move when it comes to blackjack. But if I had to make a choice, I'll say blackjack though, because you can kind of help your teammates. Because we got to remember, everybody that's sitting at that table, they're a team. You guys are a team. You just want to beat one person. That's the dealer. You just want to beat the dealer. So if you're seeing your teammate for to make a wrong move, you can say, hey, you don't need to hit that. Hey, you need to hit that. You can kind of help them out. And 9 times out of 10, most people are kind of receptive to the information that you're gonna
I
give
never
them.
knew it was a team in blackjack.
Yeah,
I
man.
never knew y'all work together.
Yes, you gotta work together
Wow.
because you're wanting to beat one person, the dealer. And if my man over there has a made hand and I don't, now I may look at my hand and I may want to take a hit. The man that has the made hand is gonna say, hey, remember, we want the dealer to bust out because we're working together. And so that's a lot of times what you have to do in blackjack is you got to get a good, and I'm not, like I said, 9 times out of 10, you have people that work with you that say, hey, listen, I don't know what I'm doing. Can you guys help me out? And of course they'll say, yeah, we'll help you out. So roulette is more of a luck of the draw.
Okay.
Because the dealer's just spinning the ball is spinning, whatever number it lands on, you get paid 35 times whatever bet you have on there.
Okay.
And of course on roulette, you don't have to just bet numbers. You can either bet black or red. You could bet that the number hits even or odd. It's different types of bet that you could bet on roulette. Just don't have to bet on the number though.
Okay. Wow. What drew you to the game of blackjack? Because I know you said you started out with dice, and we spoke earlier. You started off with dice and Tonk, if I'm correct. Right. Those are the first games you started out with. What drew you to blackjack?
What drew me to blackjack is the first time I went to the casino, I seen somebody make like $5,000 in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, that'll draw me too.
and the way that they did it, it was just so nonchalant and so easy. And then once I said to myself, I need to learn how to play this game, and I learned how to play it, I said, wow, that ain't hard to do. The hard part is actually just putting up the money.
Yeah.
That's the hard part, just putting up the money. But the actual winning is not hard at all. So that kind of drew me to playing blackjack. When the first time I went to the casino, it might have been, I don't know, like 2003, 2004. I was still in high school when I went to the casino. And when I seen how easy it was, and then I learned how to actually play the game. It's almost like, man, playing basketball and football.
Yeah.
When you see somebody do something and you say, I know for a fact I could do that, but I need to practice. So when you do that, you just practice on your craft and stuff. And so that's what I used to do. I used to actually be at home, and because the casino plays were 8 decks when it comes to blackjack.
Wow, that's a lot of decks.
That's a lot of decks, right? So I used to actually buy 8 decks at my house, bring them to my house, and I actually used to count how many times I actually would beat the dealer. I would have my hand, and I would say how many times I could probably beat the dealer versus how many dealer would probably beat me. I would actually do that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's deep.
So yeah. Wow, bro. Wow. So okay. So let's talk about your strategy, right? So you built. How did you build your strategy? Like, did you build it around looking at how people, or did you read books, or was it just physical? You going out buying the decks and you count it out?
So I built my strategy on 2 things. 1, buying the decks and practicing by myself. And 2, learning from people that have either A, lost a lot of money or won a lot of money. Because see, people that won a lot of money, lost a lot of money, they both got 2 things that's valuable to you. And that's information and information. And so what I've learned from people that have lost a lot of money and won a lot of money is that they will share with you things that you don't even know. And so things that I would hear was, hey, listen, I don't care what you have. When the dealer has a bust out card, and all blackjack players know this, when the dealer has a bust out card, you don't take a hit if you could bust out. See, that's one of the biggest arguments about blackjack. Say the dealer has showing a bust out card and you got 12. A lot of players will take a hit. But really, you want the dealer to bust out. You're taking a chance of actually busting out and losing your money when that should be the dealer card. So these are some things that I had to study. I had to look at. I mean, I also looked at the movie 21.
21, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's some things that I looked at and I studied to kind of see how I could kind of fit my game in there. And also, this is the most important thing, when to know to pull out.
Mm-hmm.
Because see, sometimes as gamblers, a lot of people would testify if they telling the truth is, man, I was up, but I ain't know when to quit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's one of the biggest
That's
things.
very important.
Knowing when to know how to pull out and saying, okay, you know what? I think I got what I need. Let me go ahead and call it quits for the day.
So I want to go back to when you said you learned from these people that won a lot of money or they lost a lot of money. Where did you meet these people at?
High limit room.
Oh, okay. At the casino?
At the casino.
Okay. So you just sparked up a conversation or just...
So people in the high limit room are very friendly.
Okay.
And the reason is because they know 9 times out of 10, they probably think that you got money because you're in a high limit room playing. Mm-hmm. You have to have a minimum at least of $100 in hand to put up. Mm. Maximum can be 10,000, 20,000.
Okay.
But the minimum is $100 in hand. So if you're in the high limit room, 9 times out of 10, you're going to strike conversation with people when you're playing with them, when you're talking with them. Mm-hmm. They're going to fill you in on, you know, what their journey's been about the game. What do they think? Mm-hmm. They'll be open to share information with you about that.
Awesome.
Which is very vital because, you know, you got to understand, you're playing against the house. Mm-hmm. And I don't think a lot of people understand what that means when they say you're playing against the house. The house is very big. The house has a lot of money. And it's hard to just beat the house.
Money don't end.
Yeah, money don't end. You know what I mean? So whenever you can retain information from somebody who's been there, done that, it's always smart to do that and then try to build up your own report and go about your own way of doing it.
What is one of the most important things as a beginner I should know about blackjack before I sit down? Like, as far as not the basics of the game, but mm-hmm. as far as strategy wise, like what do I need to what's some vital information I need to know?
Some vital
before I sit down.
Some vital information before you sit down and play blackjack is you have to be patient.
Okay.
It's a patient game. It's almost in a sense kind of like poker. Mm-hmm. The only difference is in poker you're playing against 8 or 9 other guys. Mm-hmm. Blackjack you're only playing against the dealer.
Okay.
So when I say be patient, if you lose 2 or 3 hands, you can't say, okay, well, I'm all in. I want to bet it all right now. Mm-hmm. No, be patient. Mm-hmm. Get a flow of the cards and see how they're rolling. Mm-hmm. And if once the cards start a little bit rolling your way, then you up your bet. Mm-hmm. But a lot of gamblers take this, they lose 2 or 3 hands and they say, okay, this is the big one. And they want to bet a big one. When really, you got to understand just how you can roll good, you can roll bad. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've seen it before. So my advice would be somebody who's playing blackjack is be patient, make your steady bets. If you started off betting $20 the first hand, continue to bet $20 for the next 3 to 4 hands until you win the next 3 hands. Okay. When you win the next 3 hands, up your bet to 40, up your bet to 60. Okay. But be patient though.
Patient.
That's the key right there.
Okay. Now let's go back to, you said you even watched the movie Blackjack. Mm-hmm. I mean 21. The movie's called 21. Right. I also watched that movie, and they were strategy that they were using was card counting. How familiar are you with card counting?
Well, let's just say this. I wasn't too good at math in high school. Mm-hmm. But what I will tell you is this. And anybody who's played me in Tonk or anything, they'll tell you I can count pretty well. Okay. But when you're talking about 8 decks, which is 52 times 8, mm-hmm. it's a lot of cards. Yeah. I'm not that good to where I can mm-hmm. count those a lot. But what I can do, mm-hmm. and what I have strategized against is, depending on how many players I'm playing with, mm-hmm. depending on how many cards have come out already and I've seen, I can kind of attest or guess what kind of cards is coming out next. Mm-hmm. And so that will determine what size of bet I'm going to do. You know what I mean? Because blackjack is 21, of course. Mm-hmm. So the closer you get to 21, the closer you are to actually, having a good hand and winning. Mm-hmm. So say for instance, if I'm playing with 4 other guys on the table and it's the dealer, and out of those 4 guys that I'm playing, everybody has 2 cards. So that's 10 cards out there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, out of those 10 cards, if 8 of those cards are low and only 2 of those cards are high, then guess what? I'm thinking in my head, this next round, it's gonna be it's gonna be it's gonna be more high cards than low cards. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna take a chance of betting a little bit more bigger because I think I'm probably gonna get a high hand.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
It makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. So vice versa, if I get a high hand and I'm counting all the cards and I'm saying, okay, it's a lot of big cards out here on the small lower cards, let me lower my bet because it probably gonna be a lot of little bit lower cards come out. You know what I mean? So that's how I kind of do my betting when it comes to blackjack, and try to minimize my losing when it comes to it. Now I've won a lot when it comes to blackjack, but I've also done some losing as well. But you have to when it comes to any type of gambling, you got to know what you're doing. Because if you don't, just as fast as you walked in there, you're gonna walk out.
You're right about that. I've been there before.
You go up.
Yeah. Okay, so have you ever lost so much money that you're like, man, I'm not gonna play this no more? And how do you deal with losing?
I'm gonna tell you something. In order to gamble, you got to have a strong mind. It's people that have killed themselves over gambling.
That's true.
It's people who have lost their wives, lost their houses, lost everything over gambling. I done grew up with dudes that done had the bag and done blew it over gambling. Done lost every dollar. So I've seen it happen before. But I also seen on the flip side dudes who didn't have a pot to piss in, had a couple dollars, and came up like it wasn't nothing.
Ran it up
all the way up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've seen both sides of the story. So when you see both sides of the story, you got to know to yourself and you got to say to yourself, I got to be strong-minded to do this, because I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like in the years I've gambled, and it's been 24 years. I started gambling when I was 13. You feel me? I'm 37 now. 24 years. In those 24 years, has it been time that I've been discouraged from gambling? Yeah, it's been times. It's been times I've lost I took a lot of big losses off gambling. But on the flip side, I done bought cars from gambling. I bought the house that I'm in from gambling. I done bought a lot of big, stuff. Purchases from gambling. You know what I mean? So to answer your question, yes, you have to be strong-minded when it comes to gambling, because you got to know in the back of your mind, it's not this ain't 100% guaranteed. The definition of gambling is taking a risk. You're taking a chance. Shit ain't no different from Wall Street.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been times where I said to myself, dang, Sly, you just took a big loss right there, man. You may need to chill from gambling. Not stop, just chill. You know what I'm saying? And I've took a chill pill, but it's been times where I said to myself, looking in the mirror, and I said, damn, boy, you did that today. You came from nothing from something today. You know what I mean? So it's got its peaks and its.
I just want to stay on losing for a second, because a lot of people will explain the wins all the time. So like you say, we don't gamble. We don't gamble and win every time. Well, do you put checks and balances in it? Like, how do you know when to stop?
So how do I know when to stop? So gambling is like I call it runs. That's what I call it. Either you're on a good run or you can be on a bad run. Or you can be, and I've been on this one too, or you can be on a flip-flop run. Basically meaning you win in here, you lose a little bit, you win there, you lose a little bit. Kind of like gambling. This is what it is. You know what I mean? So when I'm on a bad run,
Mm-hmm.
when I'm just losing, I'm losing in poker, I'm losing in blackjack, I'm losing in Tonk. Then I gotta say to myself, I gotta be strong minded enough to say, hey, okay, you gotta chill.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta take a step back. You gotta revamp this thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because like I said, you can mess around, you can lose everything behind it now.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't nothing to play with. Like if you're weak minded, you shouldn't be a gambler. I advise anybody that if they have mental issues or they
Yeah, that's right. You're right.
No, real,
You're right.
real stuff.
You're
If you
right.
got mental issues or if you you don't need to be gambling.
I agree.
You don't. You have to be strong minded and you have to know that regardless of what the situation is going to be, not only one, do you got a backup plan, but number two, you're going to know how to get up out of that jam if you do get yourself in the jam.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know. You know what I mean? It's not no room for crashing out or saying, hey, I don't know what to do, this and that.
Mm-hmm.
No, you have to be strong minded. You have to be.
I think also you knowing so many games and you're a diverse gambler, I think that's an advantage because I play poker,
Mm-hmm.
but you can play many games. So if you're running bad in one game, you can just go to another one.
Okay.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah. Going to one game to another actually sometimes has its advantages
Mm-hmm.
because it's been times where I done ran bad in poker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about I done had bad beat after bad beat after bad beat.
Mm-hmm.
And I could leave a poker table, go to the hood and play Tonk, where it all originated from, and just make my night grand.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious,
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah, I
Like
believe
make
it.
my night
I
grand.
believe it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then it's also been on the flip side. I start my night playing Tonk, and my night is grand, and go to the poker table, and it go all down the drain. So it has its ups, it has its downs,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to, like I said, and I'm gonna keep saying, you have to be mentally strong enough to know, hey, listen, this is what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking a chance. It may work, it may not work. But at least I know why I'm taking my chance. I know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because so many people, man, there's so many people come to these poker tables, and so many people come to these Tonk tables, so many people come to these blackjack tables. Don't know what they're doing. They really clueless.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And they kind of just giving away their money.
Okay, well, let's talk about winning.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was like your most memorable win, and what led up to that win? Were you just more focused that day? So go into that for me. Like,
I can already tell you what it was: $37,000 and $310.
wow,
I can already tell you the day. I can tell you the day was 2019.
wow.
I can already tell you because I remember.
So you took 300 to 37,000.
No. I didn't take 300 to the table. I had like 4,000 in my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
It was a high stakes limit Tonk game here in St. Pete. It was a lot of people there who are well known. I ain't saying no names, so y'all be quiet.
Yeah.
But it was a high limit Tonk game. And when I tell you it was so much money in there. Oh man, it was so much money in there.
Mm-hmm.
And like I tell you, Tonk is my home. That's my home game. That's my love.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's my baby right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so I remember that day like it was nothing. I went in there probably we started playing about 7. I got done playing like 4 in the morning, and I walked out of there with like $32,000 profit.
Wow.
The next day, I went and bought a car. I actually one of the cars my daughter started driving because I passed it on down to her. Bought some other things, but that was the biggest win I ever had in my gambling career.
So were you just hitting, or were you just focused?
So I'm gonna tell you what it was. So I don't know if you're familiar with the game Tonk.
I am.
Okay, so with Tonk, how we play here is you just got so many side bets. We had so many side bets. You know, we had like 200 low diamonds, 200 low spade, 200 last low, 200 third low. So you put up like 1,000 a hand.
Yeah.
But here's the thing though. Here's where the kicker come in. You playing with 3 other people, but you got other people on the sidelines who want to side bet you on the side. Mm-hmm. So I may be betting these 3 people here in the pot. We got 200 diamonds, 200 this, 200 that, 200 that. But Blow Joe may be sitting over here. He may like his homeboy. He may say, I like my homeboy 500 for last low. So the money on the flow. So you got money on the flow. You got money on the table. You got money everywhere. Jeez. I'm talking about crazy money too. Yeah. And so that's why I say that Tonk always been my first love. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where really I came up at. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I came up in Tonk.
Can you go into like these environments? Because I never knew there were high stakes Tonk games. Let's just paint a picture of that environment. Like, what does that look like?
So first of all, it's only invite only.
Okay. In a house? Is it a house?
It's it'll basically be in a destination where it's not always there, but pick and choose. We may change it up. Maybe here this week, maybe another destination one week, maybe over here. You know what I'm saying? But it's a circle of people who you're normally playing with. Mm-hmm. So these people who I'm playing with, I have been playing with them for a while. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They ain't like I was just no stranger, just came and just hit for no 30,000. No, I had been playing with them for a while. You know what I mean? So the environment is where you don't even have to show table stakes. And I'm gonna tell you why you don't have to show table stakes.
You don't have to show table stakes. Explain that. I don't.
Okay, so table stakes is, of course, like anything else. Like you would say, hey, okay, I'm reaching in my pocket. This is what I'm playing with. I got $3,000 to play with, or I got $4,000 to play with. Okay. Reason why you don't gotta show table stakes in these games because the stakes are so high that you can't get around it. You can't come in there and just play one hand and then be like, oh, I lost $1,000, I'm done. No, like you gotta put up, because that's the case. Then
they won't invite you back.
You'll never get called again.
Okay.
So you're blowing your opportunity to really making money. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So when you come, you gotta come strapped. You gotta come ready to play. You gotta, you know what I mean?